Positive Spin. Presenting positive, innovative, and solution-oriented news from around the world.
Today, a decade after our establishment, UN Women's work is more important than ever.
On today's program, we'll profile the 10-year history of UN Women, an organization of the United Nations.
Gender equality. Equal rights.
Your dreams are mine, and we shall shine.
And we'll see a music video of the International Women's Anthem, One Woman.
COVID is affecting conservation. More funds are dedicated to counter this.
Then we'll discover how COVID-19 is affecting wildlife and conservation.
Is still needed.
In 1824, after the Rappites returned to Pennsylvania, Robert Owen purchased a settlement from the Harmonists. He was a Welsh-born social reformer.
Following that, we'll learn the history of the utopian community New Harmony, founded in the early 1800s.
Sailed to the United States to purchase the site and implement Owen's vision.
When our voices unite, things start to change. People dance, their heart explodes. We get truly excited.
Finally, we'll present a series of films from the annual Peace in the Streets Global Film
Down our
Festival.
bodies. Music is a universal and inclusive language.
Every year on March 8th, the world celebrates International Women's Day. In recognition of this important occasion, we profile the 10-year history of the organization UN Women.
Equal rights have never come easy. Whether it's girls' access to education, women's place in leadership, or women's and girls' freedom and choice over their own bodies, progress for women's rights has always been a hard-won battle. But 10 years ago, UN member states took a historic step on the path towards gender equality by enlisting some crucial allies: us.
By bringing together 4 parts of the UN systems dedicated to women's issues, it will now be much more difficult for the world to ignore the challenges facing women and girls or to fail to take the necessary action.
As UN Women, we hit the ground running. Together with civil society, governments, the private sector, and in coordination with our sister agencies in the UN system, we have worked tirelessly to place women's rights, priorities, and voices on critical global agendas. Our staff in more than 90 countries have delivered programs to transform lives on the ground. We have worked with governments to change laws and set standards to meet women's needs. We have teamed up with influential and intergenerational partners to spread our message. We have engaged men and boys to create a united force for gender equality. And thanks to our work with governments and numerous partners over the last decade, we have seen true progress. More than 2 billion women benefit from better national policies to fully participate in the economy. More than 1.5 billion women and girls enjoy enhanced legal protections and higher quality services to address gender-based violence. More than 25 countries have reformed their constitutions in support of women's political participation.
We need big, bold steps, not incremental steps.
As COVID-19 exposes the massive fault lines of global inequality, as climate and humanitarian emergencies threaten the most vulnerable, as movements for racial justice demand an end to systemic discrimination, and as innovation and technology shape our future societies, today, a decade after our establishment, UN Women's work is more important than ever. Women and girls need an ally and a champion to take on the unfinished business of gender equality. Equal rights have never come easy, but we've been standing alongside women and girls in this fight for 10 years, and we're ready for the next 10.
To honor UN Women, singers and musicians from 20 countries came together to create the inspiring anthem, One Woman.
Du même endroit. I can hear you, Jerry, but I've got nothing on the mic.
In Kigali, she wakes up. She makes a choice. In Hanoi, Nata, Ramallah. In Tangier, she takes a breath, lifts up her voice. In Lahore, La Paz, Kampala. Though she's half a world away, something in me wants to say, we are one woman. You cry and I hear you. We are one woman. You hurt and I hurt too. We are one woman. Your hopes are mine, and we shall shine. In Wallace, she speaks the truth. She reaches out, then teaches others how to. In Jaipur, she gives her name. She lives without shame. In Manila, Sultanbul. Though we're different as can be, we're connected, she with me. We are one woman. Your courage keeps me strong. We are one woman. You sing, I sing along. We are one woman. Your dreams are mine, and we shall shine. We shall shine.
And one man he hears her voice, and one man he fights her fight. Day by day he lets go the old ways, one woman at a time.
Though she's half a world away, something in me wants to say, we are one woman. Your victory saves us all. We are one woman. You rise and I stand tall. We are one woman. Your world is mine, and we shall shine. Shine, shine, shine. We shall shine. Shine, shine, shine. We shall shine. Shine, shine,
In the following UN in Action film, we witness the dramatic effect COVID-19 is having on wildlife and conservation.
We have to kill a lion to be a moral. Yes, I kill it to protect the Maasai property, also the elephants. Culture forced me to do that. We don't do that anymore. When I see lion now, I see like benefit to all Kenyans. I was doing bushwork more than 8 years now. I'm very proud when I see the tourists come and visit Kenya. But in this moment now, no job because of coronavirus. No bushwork, no guest because of COVID-19. If there is no tourism, no conservation.
Poaching has increased because most people now are jobless. Personally, I was a farmer. I loved elephants so much, but they pained me when they eat my farm, and it hurted. But when I was employed as a ranger, we came together with the community to mitigate the conflict. COVID is affecting conservation. More funds are dedicated to counter this COVID. And the poachers are still there, and reinforcement is still needed to stop them. And with no funds, this will be more difficult.
When people say the planet's healing, the reality is the impacts of COVID are actually quite serious for wildlife. So revenues are no longer flowing. People don't have money to buy food, or the people who live closest to wildlife. They are the first line of defense. And what we're concerned about is people get more and more desperate. There may be more of a temptation to encroach on these areas just to meet their basic needs. The UN Environment Program is actually working right now with a number of countries around the world to expand their wildlife economies. For wildlife conservation to work, people have to benefit and enjoy nature.
I am a community ranger, born and lived around this area. So I know where the poachers come from, where the hotspot, where the animals are disturbing people. With my income, I can educate my sibling, maybe my brothers, and as we educate them, they see the importance of conserving, and they like it because it's our heritage. It will actually provide for us.
New Harmony, a utopian community based on peace and equality, was founded in Indiana in the early 1800s. Let's learn more about this visionary community.
As you walk through the streets of New Harmony, you feel as if you've met eternal peace. New Harmony is a historic town in the Wabash River in Posey County, Indiana. It lies 15 miles north of Mount Vernon, the county seat, and is part of the Evansville metro area. The town's population was 789 in 2010. This small town has so much more to it than what meets the eye. The people in the town are some of the most genuine and nice people I have ever met. These people aren't just funny, but rich with history. After all, they are some of the ancestors of the old utopia. There are many remnants of the original New Harmony settlement, and today's downtown still thrives with business. The town of Harmony was founded in 1814 under the leadership of German immigrant George Rapp, born Johann George Rapp. It was the second of 3 towns built by the religious leaders' communal group known as the Harmonists, Harmonites, or Rappites. The settlement of New Harmony was started with the idea of living communally in peace. They did not believe in war. They were also anti-slavery and believed in equal rights for women. They felt that everyone in the community should work for the common good, therefore, in theory, resulting in everyone being equal. Their currency was nothing like anyone in the United States had ever seen. The currency was just hours, meaning that if you worked 10 hours, you'd have a 10-hour bill. As you can imagine, this system of government caused some problems, and within 3 years the community mostly moved back to Pennsylvania, where they had come from, and abandoned New Harmony. Certain members of the community felt as if they were the only ones who were working hard enough. Within a few decades, the Rappites all but died out due to the fact that they believed in celibacy. In 1824, after the Rappites returned to Pennsylvania, Robert Owen purchased a settlement from the Harmonists. He was a Welsh-born social reformer and a wealthy industrialist. Owen, his 22-year-old son, William, and his Scottish friend Donald MacDonald sailed to the United States to purchase the site and implement Owen's vision for a new moral world. He renamed the town New Harmony and continued the utopian experiment for a decade, bringing in scientists and artists. Some of the artists still have ancestors living in the town today, but mostly newcomers who love the town as much as both George Rapp and Robert Owen.
Each year, the Peace in the Streets Global Film Festival is presented in cooperation with the United Nations. The festival was founded by the Peacemaker Corps Association in 2014 under the direction of Association Chair and President Carol Sumner Kretschmann. The film festival showcases socially aware young filmmakers and their stories and gives young people the tools and platform to have their voices heard. Positive Spin is pleased to present 3 award-winning films from the 2019 and 2020 Peace in the Streets Global Film Festivals.
Nice to meet you. My name is Jean and I'm an 18 years old young scientist from South Brazil. I live in a country that owns a beautiful nature, cheerful people, and a great social diversity. However, I quickly realized about several problems in my community, such as a huge social disparity and environmental pollution. The poor living conditions of banana plantation workers are a problem that called my attention. They work under unhealthy conditions and earn a miserable wage insufficient to sustain their families. In addition, my village and the entire world face the plastic epidemic, lots of environmental problems caused by the excessive use of traditional plastics. Currently, plastic rubbish can be found everywhere on the planet. I took these problems and decided to create a solution. Would it be possible to manufacture an eco-friendly bioplastic as a solution to traditional plastics? I was daydreaming and questioning myself during my walk back home from school. Living in a place with limited resources, I used the creativity by striving to produce the first prototypes of my biodegradable plastic by adapting equipment that I had at home. After some months of hard work in the lab, I was finally able to get the first prototypes of my biodegradable plastic. I created a bioplastic by recycling banana tree trunks, which is a material treated as agricultural garbage in Brazil. Economic, social, and environmental impacts are the 3 main points of my solution. By recycling a material treated as garbage, my bioplastic solves the main problems caused by traditional plastics, once it's biodegradable, cheap, non-toxic for consumers, and uses a renewable source. My solution is 100% eco-friendly. Also, by using banana trees and a simple methodology to create the bioplastic, banana plantation workers can easily manufacture my products and sell it to complement their incomes, taking them out of the miserable conditions that they live in nowadays in Brazil. Currently, I am planning the process to bring my solution to the public market and apply it to people's lives. By striving to find the solutions to worldwide problems, I hope to improve the reality of people in my country and contribute to a more eco-friendly society. I discovered that creating peace is a process that starts inside of us. So, bringing peace to the world is about setting an example, such as from a simple act of compassion to the development of a social project. Are you trying to create a transformation in your community? Each and every one of us is passionate about something that has to do with the greater good. So, consider what you feel strongest about and take action to do your part. If you like taking care of kids, you may volunteer to work at the schools in your community, for example. Think globally, act locally. If you want to be part of a future where no one is left behind, I invite you to join this fight and let us build a better future. Remember, together we can make a difference. We can achieve peace.
"70 years in these folks' world. The child I works for calls me girl. I say, yes ma'am, for working's sake. I'm too proud to bend and too poor to break."
When calls for change aren't part of our daily life, it's easy to dismiss the few that seep through. When one person calls for justice, it's radical. When millions call for reform, it's an inherently necessary movement. When composed of many people who don't necessarily experience injustice firsthand, people who are like me, privileged. Our economic status, skin color, religion, able-bodiedness, citizenship keep us ignorant to the realities others face. It's not my fight. It's not my place. But it is. The day you found comfort in inaction is the day you've lost purpose. Just as human rights and dignity are bestowed upon everyone at birth, so is the responsibility to ensure that injustice anywhere does not disrupt justice everywhere.
I have a dream today.
Our existence has come to seem solitary at times, when we only experience police brutality through a screen, when we only hear about genocide sitting on our couch. Yet the human experience persists within us all. It is my fight. It is my place to turn ambivalence into action, now and always. It is my obligation to educate, to ensure that everyone sees the truth, sees the cries of our suffering brothers and sisters, and knows that they are contributing to a movement, not a moment. As an active ally who enjoys all the privileges in the world, my place is beside those who don't, so I might amplify and uplift their voices. And until everyone prospers under the same intangible benefits as I do, I won't let the institutions that prioritize my life thrive any longer. That is the role of the ally. That is the role of the privileged.
My father's speaking voices that shred my fact and sound. They say, but sugar, it was our submission, and that made your world go round.
Music is part of our lives. It is linked to us and we to it. Before we are even born, our hearts beat to the same rhythm as our mom's heart.
Music is all around us, and just as each instrument has its own sound, each of us has a distinctive voice, one that makes us different from everyone else.
If we use its notes, chords and silences, an instrument can produce great melodies. But the real magic happens when other instruments join the fun, with new rhythms and harmonies. When our voices unite, things start to change. People dance, their heart explodes, we get truly excited, and all kinds of cool sensations run up and down our bodies.
Music is a universal and inclusive language. It erases boundaries and brings cultures and beliefs even closer. It represents humankind, reminding us in the end that we are one.
Music allows us to play infinite combinations with only 7 notes. Today, we're more than 7 billion people in the world. Imagine for a moment everything we could do, enriching each other with our own tastes, religions, cultures, preferences, and genders. Imagine if we all sang our best tune, if everyone seeked to be in harmony with everybody else, accepting their own unique tone. Let's get in touch with our inner music and write a great song together.
Respect everyone and let's enrich ourselves with our differences. Let the music begin.
Thank you for watching Positive Spin. This show is made possible through the generosity of the Patty and Jack Wright Foundation. Watch and subscribe to our previous episodes on YouTube, and please like us on Facebook. Watch us on Free Speech TV, Dish Network, DirecTV, Roku, Sling, and Apple TV. I'm Bill McCarthy. Stay healthy and safe, and remember, you can create your own positive news.
I think the peace is important because if we all work together, then we'd really be able to accomplish things instead of trying to compare apples to oranges. I think that it would be a lot better fruit bowl if we all just joined as one and would be able to build together, because that's the way we're going to evolve to the next level. But if we keep comparing ourselves, then it's always going to build a wall. So I think that if we want to go anywhere, we have to have peace.
Thank you.